What's up, everybody? It's Mike and AJ here, and we are on for the live chat.
It's live.
Ready to go.
It's
Ready
live.
to go. We're just looking through some of the comments that are already coming up. I was just typing away here.
So, as always, we just want to thank Skidoo. This is a live session sponsored by Skidoo.
Yep.
As we always really appreciate their involvement. We wouldn't be able to do this if it wasn't for their help and their support. But you're, like Luke always tells you, you're always welcome to ask any questions about any of the sleds. Last week,
including Arctic.
Yeah, last week we did this segment on Wednesday. It was the day before Thundercat, and we got some pushback from that. So if you have any questions, ask.
We can talk about it all. Yeah, I was actually it's kind of funny because Craig Dean here is saying that he's a Skidoo rider, but he loves the VR1 colors and he likes the orange and the MXZ and the Renegade X. I totally agree with you that the yellow XRS, I think they should have done the throwback to the 2007 XRS that was blue and yellow, and we've seen a whole bunch online. Yeah, I think that would have been the one to go with. It was so cool with that Lexan hood back in the day. I mean, I remember that one. That was mint.
It's sweet. They actually had it in their presentation, which I was surprised that they actually had it, but had different coloration. So
yeah, why no power steering for 2027? You know what? It's funny because we have probably had equal parts. We were talking about this. Luke and Mike and I were discussing Softy earlier today. And we were talking about how power steering is a love-hate. You either love it or you hate it. And we have so many comments that are so polarizing. And we don't disagree. We think that there's a place for power steering in the industry. I think utility, two-up, and high touring or high-mile touring is a great spot for power steering.
Sure.
And Arcticat's trying it elsewhere. And you know what? It might stick. Maybe it won't. Who knows?
I'm a little different. I mean, I always argue, always throw this, I'm older, a little bit older. I'm older demo. I'm 51 now, and
You're 51. You got 10 years on me.
I know, dude.
Oh man, you're looking good though.
Man, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's the beard. It's very fancy stuff. But what I do appreciate about it is, when I got to ride the new cats, the 27 cats in Yellowstone, it's the day after. We piled on big miles and we came down from the mountain and it was whooped out, beat to heck. The trails were horrendous, and I was expecting, okay, it's gonna be a rough morning, but I mean, halfway down, I realized how light I have my hands on the handlebars, and I was just like, dang, this is just soaking up all the hits, and I'm feeling real good. And I woke up the next morning feeling great. And I think, I'm not saying it's for everyone, and I don't think it's going to take over the industry like it did with ATV. Not at all. But I think guys that do want it would appreciate it.
I think it'd be great if it was an option. Just like I think Polaris should make dynamics an option on a lot more sleds. I think it should just be a box that you check, and if at this time of the year when you're putting your money down, just like, you know what, if you want smart shocks on an adrenaline, who cares? Put them on. Like take people's money. Take my money. Like just do whatever you want at this time of the year. Let you have whatever color you want. And I know that's probably like more skews or whatever. So I get it. It's probably not a possibility. But I feel like it would be nice if you could kind of do some of those things.
Like, well, I mean, if they did their homework, which we know Skidoo always does. They're always doing market research.
They've tested power steering.
For sure they have. And here's the reality. They do have, Can-Am has excellent EPS, tri-mode EPS. And I think if they came up with something for snow, maybe it's a system that actually has 3 modes. And one of the modes is off completely. Yeah. And then the other one is maybe just, it doesn't impact steering, but it does soak up bumps, and then the other one is full on. I
got a challenge for the Skidoo engineers. I know a bunch of those guys will be watching this, but I think that somebody can do power steering in a much smaller unit that's not as heavy. Yeah. And Skidoo's always the company to do something that's like next level, new technology. I mean, they've done SHOT, they've done E-TEC, they've done all these cool things. I think they're the guys to come out with a power steering unit that doesn't really compromise hugely on weight. Like if you could do power steering for, 3-4 pounds, nobody's gonna care.
Yeah,
and if you can turn it off.
That Arctic one is a heavier module too, and I think
it's off of their. Isn't it off of their ATV?
I think it is. Yeah. I think that the unofficial number was like 8 pounds.
It's quite a bit. It's a bit heavier, but I mean, you know what? Like
maybe that's what
I think just do it so that like SHOT, you're like, well, there's no compromise. You rope it once and you're done pretty much for a weekend. I mean, we can leave ours outside overnight and it will still start in the morning with SHOT. So anyways, I digress. Let's get on to some other ones here. We got more people saying should have been gold and blue.
Did we test ride the Backcountry XRS Turbo? I mean,
we've been on it.
Yeah,
we didn't do necessarily a test for next year on it.
Didn't you ride a Backcountry? You did a Backcountry, but it wasn't
I did a Backcountry, but it wasn't the turbo. I didn't do the turbo.
No.
But the new Backcountry, or not new Backcountry, but I mean the Backcountry is really, really good. That C-Motion X, right? I'm so confused because I went through all the specs for a buyer's guide that we're doing tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think it's C-Motion X in that one. It is a really good rear suspension. Works really, really great. The nice fact that you can have the 39 or the 43 front end.
Yep.
That's great. RAS RX is really nice on it. So we actually are just in the process of ordering our sleds for next year as well. We do it at the same time that people can spring check. So we put a Backcountry XRS turbo on there.
I think it was a turbo.
That's what it is.
Yeah. So
we'll have one next year.
Yeah, there you go. Ask us about it then.
Turbo 850 versus the 900R. Oh man, you're bringing out the. Okay, so here's my conclusion on the 900. Sorry, you're saying 900R. Sorry, I thought you were saying 900 Polaris. My bad, because I have a conclusion about that too. I won't go there right now. 900R versus 850 Turbo. Do you want long-term reliability, 4-stroke smoothness, 4-stroke turbo, really heavy hitting? Like, there is a difference between the 900R. If you're talking, we're talking Turbo R. There's a difference between that motor and the Turbo 850. The Turbo 850 is strong. It's a 2-stroke. It's lightweight and it hits hard.
Oh yeah.
But there is something about that 900R when you get on the gas and that thing's making so much boost that it doesn't know what to do with it. And it's going wah, 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 as you're taking off. Oof. And it's like skis go up and like
hang on,
Star Wars warp speed. Yep. Things start to blur.
It's a sleeve shortener.
I really like that engine, and I have not traditionally been a massive 4-stroke engine guy when it comes to snowmobiles.
No, you know what?
I really like it.
I don't think anyone around here is a really like hardcore 4-stroke guy.
No, like the Yamahas. There was some Yamaha ones, like the 998 triple, that was just so buttery smooth, and everybody was like, "Hey, it's great." But
before Yamaha left the industry, they had it dialed in. I mean, like they just some tweaks on that, and they could have, But
I know that Arctic still has. I know Arctic still has the 7000 and still has the 9000. But when we're talking new chassis, let's talk new chassis, because the reality is I don't think those chassis are going to be around.
And on the topic of Arctic, I did actually really enjoy the T-Cat when I was riding it.
Oh yeah,
it's
still a great sled.
It goes like stink.
Yeah,
and
still a great sled.
It's got EPS on it. It handles really well. They got the G8 kind of retrofitted on there, and it fits real nice. So it's loaded up with stuff.
They're doing the best they can with that. I'm just anxious for when they get probably a twin 4-stroke turbo into that catalyst.
I think something's coming.
I don't think they're going to disappoint anybody by being less than 180 horsepower. So that'll be pretty cool. Okay.
So
what else we got here?
Can you compare an XF858 Snow Pro versus a Polaris Switchback Assault 9R? I mean, we don't have those.
XF858 Snow Pro versus Polaris.
We did get some, like my crew that I went out with, Luke and AJ were filming for TV that day, but I took a group out to get photos, and
I'm still learning the cat lingo, because XF was a chassis for me when XF was a chassis. Now they call it the XF, but it's really the Riot, but it's not, because now it's XF, right?
Yeah. It's the Riot, not the Riot X. So it's got the new was it the Slide Rail 2 with the Arrowhead track, and then I think it's a 146, and then it's got the 39-inch.
Isn't it just the LT grade that comes with the Arrowhead?
It might not be the Arrowhead then, but it does have that.
By the way, the Arrowhead is the best pre-studded track I have ever ridden, and all manufacturers need to use the Arrowhead track because it's so much better.
Yeah, I had a guy asking that when you're talking about comparos to those two sleds. I did have a guy online just yesterday I was responding to about the XF858, or he's like I'm 70% on trail. Is that the sled for me? I'm like, what about the LT gray?
Yeah,
and
100%.
Because honestly, I want one in our fleet next year. Fingers crossed that Cat will give us one, because it was awesome. I had the best day on that sled. It was
great,
so fun.
Really, really good sled. I've been at a snowmobiling game for 10 years, seriously looking at a 9R VR1 Dynamic. But that white 858 Cat has me drooling. 858 motor issues scare me. Yep, you know what? Arctic Cat is on the mend right now. They are doing great things. They're really working hard. They're cleaning things up.
I'm not going to tell anyone not to buy it if that's what you want, but I mean...
That comparison right there.
Yeah. We want to be our one with Dynamics 9R too.
I mean, I'm gonna buy the 9R VR1. That's where I'm going. The 858 Cat is a great motor though. Like it's a good motor. The white, you're right, is a great looking sled. I like it. But the 9R VR1 Dynamics is it's going to be the sled to beat next year for sure.
Yeah,
That is going to be your highest end primo sled next season, and everybody's going to be fighting to beat that one. I think, in my opinion. Let's talk 2027 XCR versus Rave. Seems like the XCR would be better in the corners, but a bit less in the bumps than a Lynx. Thoughts?
Yeah.
Good question.
We actually did. Remember we did that a comparo a few years ago with the XCR versus the Lynx, and with the new back end on the XCR and the stiffer suspension. But actually, wouldn't mind taking both of them out and just.
We'd have to find some rough trails though, because I mean, you do not have to crank the compression up very much on a Rave.
And we're so spoiled right now because all our trails are mint.
All of our trails are mint right now. They are so buttery smooth. So,
sorry, not going to complain too much. That's
I mean, I still think that the Lynx is going to be bigger bump compliant than even the XCR, in my opinion, because those guys over in Scandinavia are. Like
they're very proud of not having great trails.
Yeah, and they thrash through that stuff.
Goodness,
they're just like, oh yeah, we went out for an afternoon of 125 miles of 24-inch moguls, and I'm like,
just like
do you have a dialysis machine at home? Like, I'm glad you got the sauna, but you might need more than that.
Yeah, Listen, I go to the gym. I try to take care of myself, but that's not the kind of riding I want to do.
No, man, that's aggressive.
That's a hospital visit.
Yeah,
taking you out for the season.
How come Lynx doesn't race in the Snowcross series if they are such a great sled? They don't race in North America, but they have that cool custom sled with that fiberglass rear tunnel piece thing.
Yeah, Luke did a segment on that. I think it's on our. It actually is on our YouTube channel. You can dig around for that, but that's a cool sled.
I think they don't come over here because Lynx is. You got to remember they're a smaller company than Skidoo by a long shot, and they do have their own budgeting. They have their own planning. They have their own teams. They have their own production facility. They got all of that stuff. To come over to North America when they're just still relatively new here and start up a racing program, you got to remember, snowcross racing isn't making manufacturers any money. It's a losing game. So they do it because they want to get, some R&D, sure, maybe a bit nowadays. I don't think it's even much of that anymore. It used to be, win on Sunday, sell on Monday. I don't think people are going out and buying snowmobiles because of who wins a snowcross race or a cross-country race. I would say cross-country racing is a better application for actually trickle-down effect to see what is actually going into a trail snowmobile. That's just me. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I mean, I think that's probably why, because there's budgetary concerns or budgetary things that would hold them back from coming to North America and doing that. Not to mention, I don't believe they make enough of that Lynx race sled to be able to, what's it called, homologate or whatever it is, so that you can race it in North America. I think they'd have to build a whole bunch more, and I just don't think they're going to do it because those things are like I think they might even be hand built. They're pretty cool. So,
for sure.
Yeah.
Hammy 16. AC guys acquired the company 10 months ago. This release is awesome for that time frame. Lots of momentum there. Absolutely 100%. Absolutely agree. And this is what this is one thing that I try to explain to people. We try to explain to people. It's sort of the common message is they know they're playing catch up. I mean, remember, it was not even a year ago, that Textron closed the doors, put chains on the doors and sent everyone home. Like,
they were done.
Crazy. What are you doing? Right? Yep. And sent out a press release and had everyone panicking.
And a lot of people left. A lot of people were like, where do I get a job now that Arcticat's gone?
I couldn't even imagine the vibe around Thief then versus now, because I bet it, just holding parades in town. So we're thrilled. And here's the thing. We tell everyone they're playing catch up. They've got some old tech on their sleds. They know it too.
Yeah.
But I feel like you'll never see a more passionate group of people in the snowmobile industry than them at this very moment.
I think Arcticat's got some clutching really figured out. The sound of their sleds, and I know sound isn't all that important, but let's be honest, it's a two-stroke. It's important. Yeah. I feel like the Catalyst chassis is on point. The front end handling is good. I think they're a rear suspension away from making that platform really stand up. Their technology is good. Sure, would a direct injected 858 be better? Of course, but Polaris hasn't even come out with a direct injected engine because there's not a lot of options for doing it, and I don't think anybody wants 1,300 psi from a fixed injection system. So Skidoo, I think, tried that in Sea-Doos, and it went by the wayside as well. So you're not going to get large sweeping changes. You're going to get small stuff. Now, they did buy Widescape, which is pretty cool. And I know people in the past have been like, oh, it's just going to be gone. And it's like, no, if you go out and you try Widescape, don't knock it till you try it. Because if you haven't gotten on one and gone out in your forest and ripped around, you don't understand, because it's so much fun. And they're now $59, I think it's $59.99.
Yeah, they dropped
American.
the price on those like a lot, which
really
is
cool.
which that was probably one of the biggest complaints we saw about that. It's the biggest complaint we see online about anything. But the other cool thing that Arctic is doing is they're licensing that 200, right?
Yes.
The licensing at 200. So, you know, someone complained about this, like, you know, everything looks the same. Those things look, well, guess what? You know, do you have any idea how much R&D costs, development costs for a kid's sled? And kids don't care. They don't care. This, hey, mine's the same color as Dad's. So they got Polaris got red ones. You know, Skidoo's got yellow ones and Cat's got green ones. It's the same sled, but kids happy and
100%.
got something to rip around on, right? So I think that's great. I think those are really smart little plays that Cat's doing to, solidify some stance and make some money. I mean, making money is the key. They're a business, you know. It's important.
100%. There was a couple questions on here that looked interesting. It was EPS won't be out for due until the new chassis. There's zero room to add it into this one. I mean, I'm sure they could if they wanted to, but yeah, we agree too. I don't think until the next generation Rev comes out, they're going to do power steering, if they do it at all. The other one here, do you see a Skidoo 850RR coming out someday? Yeah, so I believe the fact that you have this new technology on a 600RR engine, they're not going to develop a brand new oil. They're not going to put time and money and effort into silent stop and eco mode on a 2-stroke direct injected motor to not bring it out on everything else. Whether you want it or not, you don't have to use it. You don't have to use silent stop. You don't have to use eco mode. They're going to put it on an 850. I can guarantee you that, because there's no reason not to, and it's all the same programming for those motors besides, the maps and everything that go into it. So yes, I believe that they're going to have that. I think they'll probably, I don't know. I think there'll probably be a little boost when they go to RR. There'll be a few horsepower boost, just like they did with the 600. It'll probably be 5 to 7 horsepower, and it'll be good. So yeah.
Get them in, keep them in the game. Arctic has it's Skidmore. Arctic has a good line of affordable and entry-level sleds for kids, teenagers, and performance teenager sled. Yeah, they do. They actually have some great entry-level models. The new Jag, it's a good-looking little sled.
It is.
I actually like that Thundercat off-white color, like of the Snow Ghost, I think it is. They've got that one model, which is really rad. It looks good. They're doing the right thing, and people said they wanted entry-level sleds. That's how you do it right there.
100%.
It's good. Good deal.
Did you guys see the MXZ X in orange and black? Yes, we did. How did it look in person? Looks pretty good. It's a nice color. I like it. I like it better than the black. And if I'm being honest, I like it better than the yellow and black, just because I like different colors than just yellow and black. So I think it's a nice color.
We like to say black and yellow, so we can sing the song.
Right. Yeah.
Black and yellow, black and yellow. You know it.
How many cups of coffee? Not enough. What else we got here? The 4-cylinder, 4-stroke Yamaha sounds very good. Yes, it does. It is a good sounding motor. Is the 850RR turbo coming out next year? I don't know what they're going to do with that turbo. You know what? The buzz on 2-stroke turbos has definitely quieted. I don't believe that they're going to get rid of them, but will they put more technology into them and spend a whole lot more on them? I don't know. In the mountains, I know that the 2-stroke turbos are important. But I think Polaris is selling a whole heck of a lot of 900Rs in the high altitude. So my prediction for the future is next chassis. Now this is, you know what? Fred might be watching, and if he is, he can either smile or shake his head. But my prediction for the future with Skidoo is that down the road, they will probably increase bore on the 850. I think that they'll go to a 900, and I think that they probably will bring out like a 670, because 670 HO E-TEC would be the coolest thing ever. I know all of us would love it. It's a throwback number.
No one's ever mentioned it online.
Yeah, not once. No, I didn't. We've never heard it. But I think Skidoo will boost up too, because Skidoo's never been the people. Rotax has never been the company to play catch up. And the 600RR, albeit a really good motor, there's nothing wrong with that motor at all. From my experience riding both the 650 Polaris and the 600RR, I don't think it's the same. It doesn't deliver the same. Whether the horsepower numbers are the same or not, it doesn't deliver the same performance as the 650 does. So I don't think Skidoo is oblivious to that, and I think when the next chassis comes out, which will be sometime, I think in the next,
I think we're going to see it like
I don't think it's
next
far
couple
off.
Seasons, yeah, I don't think it's
for
gonna,
sure.
Yeah,
and I think at that time, that's when you would bring bigger bore. Now, I don't think they brought a 670 right now because, and this was from talking with Skidoo engineers, is that the difference in horsepower, if they went to 670 from 600, they're going to be up in that like almost 140-ish horsepower range. Maybe they'd go a little higher. Who knows? But in that 140-ish, it's not enough of a difference between a 670 and an 850 to keep people really stoked about that. So they want to keep some differentiation in between there, and that's what the answer is that it's got to be different enough. So if you take 850 to 900 and you bring 670, well, there you go. And Polaris has this 900, and it seems to be doing really well. So I don't think Skidoo's going to snooze on that forever.
No,
but who knows? Maybe I'm completely wrong.
Yeah, we're just stabbing in the dark here, guys. I ride Tug Hill, New York, looking to order a Rave 850 Turbo. Your opinion? Listen, I've actually never ridden Tug Hill myself, but I hear that by the end of the day, Tug Hill is just like a whooped out. It's like going down the Black Diamond ski hills. It's just insane. So I mean, if that's what you're if that's what you're riding, that's where the Rave is going to shine. You're gonna It's set very stiff. We'd still probably set it to full soft.
Yeah, if you've ridden an XRS and you've gone to full stiff and it is not enough for you, then go to the Rave 850 Turbo and you will be happy. If you have not ridden an XRS, if you're coming from an X package, an adrenaline, anything else, and you're not riding it full stiff all the time, do not go to a Rave, in my opinion. Go to an XRS. That'll give you the performance that you're looking for. Or you can do another thing too that's crazy and off the wall. I did it yesterday and wrote it today. You can put a set of Elka shocks on something too and really, really change how things are going. Yes, that is a little bit of a plug for Elka, but they do make a great shock package. So,
it looks wicked.
Yeah, and it works really good too. So you guys will see that in a couple days.
I want to say, see that Skidoo got first and second in the Iron Dog. I guess they must be reasonably durable. Yeah, actually, I saw that as well, and I mean, congratulations. That's amazing. Yeah. That's an event and a half. So
Skidoos are not unreliable.
No. In fact, I don't know where you got that impression, but I mean, stuff like that. That tells you everything you need.
I think the Skidoos would be probably at the top of the list for reliability, in my opinion, right now. We're seeing, well, I've been seeing the least, and we're going to get a whole bunch of people saying, "What are you talking about?" But I've heard the least problems with Skidoos this season. So yeah, I think they are very reliable.
Everyone's got a buddy who's got a buddy. You know what I mean? And we're going to hear all kinds of stories. We'll probably light up in the next few minutes. But realistically, I think most guys are happy.
I like this one here. So Brian, you said, honestly, I don't get the hate for the silent stop in eco mode. If it's there, I might use it one day. Just make sure I can disable it if I want.
And you can.
And the new oil sounds good at the same price. Yeah, absolutely. So that, Brian, you win the internet today because that is the answer.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Don't use it if you don't want to. And it's not like your car where it does that stupid thing where you turn off whatever it's called, auto stop, and then the next time you start your car, boom, it's back on again. It's not like that at all.
Crazy.
Set it and forget it. It's George Foreman. We're grilling, baby.
Just get in. You can get in through the message center there and just disable it, and you're good.
You got to turn eco on if you want it. And you got to turn silent stop on if you want it. And when you turn it off, it doesn't just boom magically come back on. So don't use it if you don't want to.
Use it if you don't want it. But yeah,
this is what we do.
It's a feature. Yeah,
we do snowmobiling. This is our livelihood, and I am in the same boat as people who thought that they hate it, who haven't ridden it yet. And then I wrote it, and I went, you know what? I actually see the reason for that. I like it. I genuinely like it now. But it took a ride to figure it out and to go, oh, this is where I would use it.
You mentioned this last week, which is a great point, because we are always stopping when we're filming. Always. And waiting for our guys to tell us it's okay. Sometimes we don't have our radios and it's yelling. So you got to shut the whole engine down. In this case, it's just hold the brake, tell us to go, fires it right back up, and you're on your way. So, I mean, not everyone's doing that, obviously, but that's an application for us.
And in my
that's
mind,
practical and realistic.
I see it like riding with my kids, 100% beneficial because there's always, every stop sign, pull up, you stop the sled. Hey, you doing good, kiddo? Everything okay? You happy? You warm enough? You confident? You feeling good? Sled good? And I have daughters, so they have lots of things to tell me, and they'll let me know about anything that doesn't feel right on the sled or, hey, I saw this back there. So I was like, this is great. They can pull up next to me. We don't have to yell at each other. If we're both on skidoos, boom, they both shut down. Everything's good. It makes sense. So moving on.
I want to Northwood Snowmobiling. He's a good dude. He's always commenting. He's always got positive comments. Great
cool
stuff. Thank you and welcome. Thank you for joining us. Is the 9R Dynamics the ultimate 2-stroke trail weapon, and the 900 Turbo R the ultimate 4-stroke trail weapon for 27? I mean,
yes.
Yeah, man. Like, man, we talk up the 9R, but we all really like it, and we had some seat time on the 9R with Dynamics, and it is just
you can't knock a Polaris 9R engine. Honestly, like, okay, maybe there's, I haven't heard right now about too many reliability issues. Maybe there's something going on. I don't know, but when it comes to that thing working, when it is running and it's happy, that is a great motor. That is, in my opinion, right now, the best 2-stroke motor going. I know it's not the most clean. I know it's not the most efficient on oil and fuel, but good grief, does it make you feel good when you squeeze that throttle and it takes off? It's, it's like cat on a screen door, Elon Musk sending something to Mars. It's just going, and it feels good. So
hold on, Northwoods, you asked me online, you commented, I can't remember if it was on Facebook or if it was on YouTube, but you asked me about, I think you were looking to get a new sled. Was it an Assault you were thinking of getting? Maybe you can just ask again here, get AJ, and he might be able to answer a little better for you.
Cool. So, can you speak to the difference in handling with RAS RX on 4 strokes over RAS X? Way better. It works really, really good. The RAS RX on the 4 strokes. In fact, this year, the Renegade 900 Turbo R that we have, XRS, Mike and I love that sled.
Oh, yeah.
And it had slightly different geometry to the front RAS RX on that. It's very, very minimal.
Yeah, tiny, minuscule. Like,
to make up for the extra weight on the skis. And that was my favorite snowmobile for 2026 from Skidoo. By far, favorite sled from Skidoo. And I'm like, why does this work so much better? And then we're like, oh, they did a little update to RAS RX on the 2-strokes next year too, and it uses the same thing. And we've already tested it, and it's good.
Yeah, it's wicked. It's
really
wicked. It uses the Renegades use the RAS RX front suspension and use the Pilot X skis, right? They don't have the RAS RX skis.
And don't put the RAS RX ski on your 4-stroke because they don't work good.
No, it doesn't work as good. Yeah, and it's a handler, and it goes like stink too. So, yeah, really nice.
There was little to no R&D under Textron. No kidding. That's true. Yeah, and a lot of the guys left. So the guy that did the G8 literally took it home every night to get it working. Well, you know what? He needs a pat on the back because I love the G8. I really like that.
And that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. There's passion there, and even with the doors locked, and like R&D, they're just like, you know what? I got to do this for snowmobiling, and that's awesome, man. That's the kind of stuff we're talking about because you're gonna see magic happen in the next couple of seasons. Just wait. Give them time.
Yep. What else we got on here? Looks like the 600 competition package is still a pull start. That's the model I want. Yeah, it is because that snowmobile is built to be able to be cross-country race. That's why it comes with those Kashima-coated shocks. If you downgrade to the XRS with the 600RR motor, if you want the integral?
Yeah, they're integral.
Integral.
Yep.
Sorry,
integral, however you want to pronounce it.
It's an odd name for those shocks. But if you want the integral shock package, they are not Kashima coated. You don't get some of the bracing and stiffening that the competition package gets.
Competition package gets like solid rear idlers and everything too. So
it's as close as you get to a cross country race sled, or the package that you start from for a cross country race sled. So it's a good sled. Does the Thundercat have enough upgrades to be current? Well, I mean, you're dealing with a chassis that is arguably the oldest. No, I mean, it is the oldest in the industry right now. It's the oldest chassis, but they're bringing it so that they can answer some of those consumer questions of, hey, I want a 4-stroke and I want to buy an Arctic. Yeah. They haven't fit the 4-stroke. Well, I'm sure they have fit the 4-stroke motors in the Catalyst. They just don't have it done yet and ready for us because they just took over 10 months ago. So sometime in the near future, I'm sure we will see. They'll probably get away from the Yamaha motors and go to their own, I would think.
Yeah,
they have that great motor facility.
But at the same time, I do want to address this. So you're asking questions about the Thundercat, and you're worried about if it's got enough upgrades to make it worth it. What do you want, and who are you trying to impress?
The rear skid is the same as in the Catalyst. It's the slide action.
So
really, I mean, the front end's different, but I didn't have a problem with that chassis front end.
It's got it's a
power
It's
steering.
a great sled. It's got
G8.
ETS, G8. It's got the IQS,
Yeah.
which is it's an electronic shock. But again, I'm getting old, and it's either my sleeves are getting shoulder, or my sleeves are getting shoulder, or my arms are getting longer, or I'm getting taller. But the ground keeps getting further away from me, and I'm telling you, I don't love getting down on the ground anymore to get under the skid. I got to do it, but I got to do it. But the ground's a long way away from me, man. If I can just do it from the saddle, pushing a button, that works great.
100%. No,
Yeah,
I'm with you on that. Yeah, so I think it's still a good sled.
Yeah. And honestly, it
I don't
rides
think
great.
I don't think there's a single snowmobile manufactured today that's a bad snowmobile.
No.
We're not in those days anymore.
I probably put about 50, maybe 70K on that TCAT while we were in Montana, and I was really impressed. I was like, oh, this thing just rides so good and it handles so good. And it was a pleasure to ride. What are you going to say? If you want 4 strokes, that's an option for you.
This is what we were arguing, or not arguing about, but talking about today. Tim Harris, you say Skidoo has the best technology, hands down. It's true. They do.
Yeah.
They have the highest technology in the industry right now, and they're doing it in a really cool way.
They're just...
Something that I would love to see is I would love to see shot on trail sleds.
Yeah.
I think shot on trail sleds would be super cool.
It's on the 850 comp, but I would like to see it like...
Is it on the? It's the 850 comp. Okay,
Yeah.
I'd like to see
XRS comp, but I mean, I'd like to see it on more.
I'd like to see it as an
Great.
option. Like you don't have to have it, but if you want it on your spring check sled, let us eat cake. Why not? I think it's cool. It's a cool technology. They don't talk about it enough. They don't put like shot on the sleds enough. They need to highlight that and let people buy it if they want it. That's just my opinion.
And you're so right. They're constantly evolving with technology. I'd actually like to see, I'm going to say it, I would like to see Polaris offer a bit more tech upgrades. I think that with the next generation, maybe they have something like the ESS, maybe they, maybe introduce a cleaner running small bore engine like a 600.
Well, and I mean, and if we want to talk about tech, I get it. I don't always think that we need big screens and all this stuff, but hey, let's look at it. The whole world is going to big screens, so they do have the big screen on the Razor. They could put a bigger, like the 7S is now, the G8 in my opinion is the nicest for features. I like it the most.
It's nice and bright too.
I think the 1025 from Skidoo is the nicest in size and in overall integration because it's like seamless, but the actual software side of it I don't like as much as the G8 or the 7S. And then the 7S is just, it was the first, so now it's the oldest. But I mean, they could update something like that too. Thanks for answering my question from Scott Rosenblatt. You're welcome, Scott. Thanks for asking, man. We appreciate you coming on. Honestly, genuinely, we say this a lot, but we only get to do what we do because you guys coming on and checking us out, watching our TV show and looking at YouTube. So thank you very much. We appreciate you guys coming on here. And if you do snow check that MXEX in orange, let us know. It's a great looking sled. So yeah, I think you'd like it. What else you got?
I was just going to say, someone answered Tim's question. Does the shot work if it sets overnight next day? No, it doesn't.
Ours does.
Tim, but ours does. Yeah,
we've had multiple shot systems left outside in Ontario cold, and it gets pretty cold here.
Oh, yeah.
And we have had multiples.
I'm expecting like minus 25 Celsius.
Yeah, you bring it in, you leave it overnight, and the next morning it still starts. And that's Luke and I both can attest to the fact that we've had that happen multiple times. Yeah, it's kind of wild, but is it guaranteed to do that? No, it's not, and that's not its intended purpose. Its intended purpose is you start it once at the start of the day, and then throughout the day you don't have to re-rope it. That's the way that it usually goes. And even at that, I'm happy to rope something once in the morning. Why am I the only one running Simmons dual keel 8 and 10 inch wide skis? The bend like snow skis. The bend. Are you the only one running Simmons? I don't know. I haven't found that we needed to change skis nowadays with the manufacturer's quality of skis. Yeah. They've been working pretty good. Now, the Cats with the CNA Pros, I think they're doing that to add some more value to the sled. And because they have that power steering unit, they can put a huge keel in there. You
can make it a really aggressive.
And that dual runner carbide. So, but yeah, I haven't felt that we would need something like that.
Someone said, I'd imagine you guys are excited about the LT. We were just actually talking about it. Yeah, I got some time on it, and I was so impressed. I came just sprinting back, and you got to. Yes, I was really impressed with it. It's a great sled, and it's got the new skid in it, and it's got an uncoupled 146. and it's kind of cool because it's
got
not
that raised up rear rail.
It's not tipped up.
No,
it's raised up. So you're literally running like a 129.
The profile comes down and then literally notches up and is lifted up, but not tipped.
Yep.
Yeah,
so
it's strange.
You get it riding like a 129, so it's playful in the corners. You know, you get the back end a little loose, but it does hook up if you get off trail, which is great. And it's got the trail front end, which I like. It's got the wider front end, so you get really solid handling.
Okay, I'm going to do a couple of rapid fire ones. EXT review this week, not quite this week, but it is very soon. Mine's never started the next day. Corey Brock, ours. It could be because our stuff, and I'm not saying this to sound braggy, but it's just like our stuff is always brand new. We don't keep stuff any more than 1 year, so the capacitor probably does degrade a little bit over time. So that could be it. I don't know. And then happy birthday to Sharon Peters.
Happy birthday, Sharon.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in if you are.
Appreciate it.
And thanks for if you're not. Thanks for letting your husband tune in. He's gonna buy you something so nice. You just wait.
Oh, that's a dangerous question from Double Down 8400. Am I faster than Luke? You know what? Luke can rail on a sled. He's fast. He hustles. Back on a snowcross track, I would say that I got faster than Luke. Am I right now? No. Luke does a lot more riding than I do. He's out all the time. I think his wife probably has far more patience than mine does when it comes to letting him be gone all the time because he travels a lot and he rides a lot and he's out riding every single weekend. I have 2 young daughters and I'm always doing things with them as well. So I ride when I can and I ride during the week, but I'm not out as much as he is. So Luke is definitely the faster rider than me right now, and I'm cool with that because I take care of a bunch more of the business side of things.
I have heard stories back in the day with you too that got a little wild. My favorite ones are always when Luke could pull up at a jump and he'd be like, I think you can make that, and you're like, no, I don't know. And you're like, I think you could do it, and then you would do it and clear it, and he'd go, crap, no, I got to do this.
We did that. We did that at the snowcross track, and then there was one time we were in a certain pit in a certain town we used to ride at, and I won't mention it because we probably weren't supposed to be there. And there was like the upper shelf to this sand pit, and it was great. It was like 35 feet down, and there was these barrels all piled up with snow on top of them down in the bottom, and he's like, I think you can hit that lip at the top and just launch right down there and land on that. And I was on like a ZR700. It was an old sled, and there wasn't a whole lot of travel. And I'm like, you think so? And he's like, oh, yeah. He's like, I'm going to do it. So I was like, oh, well, I'm the younger brother. I better do it before he does. I launched off the top of this pit wall, landed exactly where I was supposed to, but there was not enough suspension travel for that kind of a drop. And it sheared both rear bolts off of the rear skid. The skid hit so hard that both rear bolts broke off of the rear skid. And I think I still have back problems to this day from that. But he looked at me. He's like, I didn't think you were actually going to do that. I'm like, you said you were going to do it. And he's like, I wasn't going to do that. That's dumb. I'm like, oh. Yeah.
I will say for the record that they still do that. They may not do it to the extent, but we traveled to Hatfield McCoy this summer.
I've learned that I don't do that now. I go, that's fine. You go ahead, Luke.
This is what we did we were at Hatfield McCoy. We were riding razors, and I'm in the second car. AJ's driving. I'm riding shotgun. Luke's in the car in front of us, and they pulled up, and it was just an aggressive downward slope. And Luke put it in park, got out of the car. Came around to AJ and he's like, hey, it's like really, really steep. I don't know. Do you think we should do it? And AJ's like, yeah, it'll be fine. Just go for it. And Luke, okay, fine. He got back in. And I was like, you think it's okay? He's like, I just want to see him do it.
I think our relationship has changed in that regard. Now I'm the one. He's like, well, AJ makes some decent decisions, and I think he's got a head on his shoulders, and I'm gonna ask him for his opinion. And I'm just like, yeah, remember all those times you screwed me over, brother? Yeah, no, go for it. I think we're good. No, I'm just kidding. I know. I wouldn't do that to put him in danger, but I know there's things where he questions me, and I do the same thing with him.
Always professional. Got a sense of humor.
Yeah, but we're brothers. We're brothers.
There's always that rivalry.
It's all good.
Okay, so Northwood's responded to me here. I currently own an 850 with Dynamics, an 850 Assault, and a 650 Adventure. Looking to add the 9R or Boost to replace one. Which one would you add for which model to round out the stable?
I
think if you went with a 9R Assault or a 9R VR1, you'd be
9R VR1 or 9R Assault. I wouldn't touch the Adventure. Obviously, I know you can't get the Adventure with a 9R or a Boost. Right? Yeah, just 650 or S4.
an S4, sorry.
I would, man, in my opinion, if you're looking for all around and you want one to do more, well, obviously the Assault's going to do more, and that's a really flipping good sled with a 9R in it. That is a cool snowmobile. But if you're finding that you're predominantly on the trails more, you're not really going off trail all that often, even though the Assault still does a great job on trail, then a VR1 9R. Next year, it's going to be the sled to beat, folks, and I am saying that with bold confidence. That is going to be the sled to beat next year. I ride in Ontario, Bancroft, and North Trails are mint. Yeah, they are mint around here right now. We're just over in Haliburton, Minden area, and it's awesome. Like today, I went on this random trail that's hardly ever groomed because we needed to film some footage, and we're like, oh, we'll go out there because we need to test the Elka shocks on our Adrenaline MXZ. So we'll go out to this trail and do that because it's never groomed. And it was like flat as could be, flawlessly groomed, minus 20, so it's hard as rock. And I was like, okay, scratch that.
Yeah. Hey guys, love the show. I live up on Tug Hill. We are at 285 inches for the season. Sweet.
Whoa, nice.
So far and climbing. That's great. You know, it's
awesome.
been a stellar season. We're talking about the trails up here. The trails haven't been this good in like a decade at least. I think they're just incredible.
A long
this
time.
Year. Yeah, and
last year and this year they've been great. Like this is what we need. Our industry needs this. This is one of the things that actually I want to segue into a little bit of a rant here, and we will come back to questions. But I feel like 2 years of good weather is what we needed, right? Because next year people are going to say, hey, we've had 2 years, we're probably going to get a third. That's really good for our industry. We need to stay positive. I saw a question earlier, how long is this winter going to go on for? I hope a lot longer, to the point where we all go, oh my goodness, this has been so much winter, I just want it to end. Because we don't want it to end. We want this snow to keep coming, and we want people to feel this way. Along with that, I did notice in our last chat last week, there's a lot of people who are super negative on things like silent stop, eco mode, power steering of any kind on any snowmobile. And I think one of the things we need to make sure that we do is if one of your buddies goes out and buys a 600RR and it's got silent stop and eco mode, because they all do, you know, don't hound somebody. Or if somebody's looking to go buy a new sled, don't be like, oh man, that's stupid. You know, you don't need that feature.
So great.
And power steering, don't go tell somebody, oh man, you need power steering. You're a big sissy, whatever it is. Don't do that crap, because we need more people to go out and buy more snowmobiles to keep this sport going, because those groomers are only grooming when we're buying trail passes, and we only buy trail passes when we sell more snowmobiles. And if we don't sell more snowmobiles, this sport goes away. So
I'm going to build on that, because
let's just be positive.
Listen, you know, we know that the engineers from the manufacturers watch our show, and I know that there's a lot of mechanics out there that watch too, and that's awesome. You guys know your stuff, and that's great. I think there is a stigma attached in snowmobiling that if you buy a sled, you have to know everything about snowmobiling. Yeah. And listen, I'll tell you what, we all could probably stand to drop the egos a little bit. And when you bring a buddy out to ride, teach him the lingo, teach him a little bit of stuff. If you got a guy who's invested, hey, Jamie, I know you just bought a $18,000 sled. Want to come riding with me this weekend? Do you want to come out and do suspension validation? I'm going to show you how to set your sled up so it rides mint. Yep. And let this guy ask questions.
Make sure you actually know how to set it up.
Do that. Yeah. Do what we always talk about, the same thing about running through a rough patch,
for sure,
setting everything to full soft, and then moving up. But show them how to do that stuff and make them feel comfortable. Get that passion flowing, because you know how it is. You know, after you ride a trail, you're just like, woo, that was insane. We want guys to feel that way. We want guys to talk about that.
Absolutely. So, and let's all put away the stigma too that we all have to go buy a 650, an 850, a Boost, a 900 Turbo R, any of those things. I spent some serious time on a MXZ Sport and a Renegade Sport. We put time in on these sleds, and I'm going to be honest with you, they're still great snowmobiles. So if a buddy is looking at getting into the business or getting into the industry, and they're going, well, you know what? I want to buy a new snowmobile. I think this is the right fit for me. And you go, no, you got to get an 850 turbo. You got to get a 9R. You got to spend $9,000 more. Just leave that there. Let this guy go out. Like, let's encourage people to go buy the right size sled for who they are and for their riding abilities, because that's going to help our sport. Mm-hmm. We need more sleds like the Sport line from Skidoo, because they are great snowmobiles. In fact, honestly, we're going to order one of them for next year because they're so darn good. My kids love them. My wife likes it. I even like getting out and riding it. I mean, sure, you could go out with the boys and probably be, taped wide open through certain sections and through certain areas, but it's fun.
we're gonna.
It's fun. Yes, we are.
Do that, and it's gonna be a hoot.
It's a great sled. It's a great motor. It's got tip start. You just roll the key.
It's awesome.
And you don't have to hold it over. Kids don't have to use a choke. They don't have to do anything. Great snowmobiles. But let's also realize there's entry-level sleds, and people need those. So let's not just push those aside.
And if, that's one thing I would like to see from Polaris is I'd love to see that tech developed. Something that
because the 550 has gone away.
Sled.
The 550 has gone away. They overbuilt it this year, so they're going to have tons of crates at the factory, and you're going to get the same color one for the next however many years they have them for. But they need that entry level.
Yeah, and which tells me, you know what? If they're running that engine out, I think they're working on something. Listen, they're working on stuff we don't even know about. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Catalyst
good
front
chat.
end. I'm sorry. Yeah. And Corey says great rant. Thank you, Corey. I appreciate that. Yeah. I'm glad somebody liked it. So there was one up there. It said the Catalyst front end is good, but not on par with the other two. Do you think it's due to the rear suspension, and would a rear arm update resolve some of the issues SnowTrax has found? You know what? I don't have a big problem with their front end, but you're right. Certain rear end characteristics are going to change the way the front end handles. I think we're not going to know the complete answer to that until they get a new rear skid in there that rides a bit better. That's the biggest problem I have with their rear skid is just a ride quality. It's not on par with our Motion, and it's not on par with why can't I think of Polaris is the name of their rear skid right now?
Pro CC.
Pro CC. Thank you. Our Motion is the best by far. I could put this water bottle in where the shock goes, and don't do this. This is not legit, but
still right awesome,
you could take a rear shock out of that thing, and you'd almost imagine it would ride just as good. It's amazing. They can put the cheapest, crappiest shocks in there, and they do a great job. It's really good. When you put good quality shocks, it gets better. So I don't mind Arctic Cat's front end. I think they work well. Actually, power steering with Arctic Cat's front end and those CNA Pro skis and the dual runner carbides I found worked really well. I did find the front end to push a little bit on previous generation sleds, but previous sleds without the power steering. But I find now with this aggressive keel and carbide, it really does corner well. So I think Arctic Cat's a rear suspension away from making that ZR line really really come into its own. So.
Can't wait to see that MXZ Adrenaline with the Elka shock. I just saw it outside.
Oh, yeah, nice.
And it looks really cool. If AJ's okay with it, I might do a quick little walk around video, and I'll post something online because it looks wicked, and that is a premium shock.
Now we went with a premium shock package on that. That was what Elka wanted us to put on there, and yes, you're not going to get much better. I mean, we put stage 4s on the two rear arms or the two rear suspension. We put stage 5s up front. You don't have to do that. You can put an Elka stage 1 on there, and that's still a full rebuildable aluminum shock.
And it is actually a huge upgrade from
threaded preload is way better than
too.
snail cam adjuster. Yep. And then if you go to stage 2, you get same but a rebound. If you go to stage 3, I believe you get a reservoir at that point with rebound and 1 compression. You go to stage 4, you get. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. I can't remember, but I know that stage 5 has high speed and low speed as well as rebound. Dual rate springs.
It's a package.
It's quite a nice set of shocks, but you don't have to spend as much as we did on that Adrenaline. It's just we wanted to show you what you could do with it.
We want to take it as far as we can go, but just so you know the performance shocks. But again, great starting point, that sled. That's a great model to build up.
Greg Metcalf. Just ride Grim Trails, high mileage, and need to snow check something. XRS 900 Turbo R, Thundercat, VR1 9R. Okay, so I'm going to say it's my opinion that the two that I would boil that down to would be the XRS 900 Turbo R and the VR1 9R, because those are two snowmobiles that I think are at the absolute top of their game right now when it comes to 4-stroke and comes to 2-stroke.
I'm also gonna add in there. This is my safe answer that Mark always taught me. Don't know what brand you're currently riding, but go talk to your dealers and see which dealer is closest to you and can provide the best after service.
Well, and that's a good if you got buddies, if you've dealt with all these dealerships, sometimes the best answer is the dealership that gives you the best service and takes care of you the best, or the dealership you don't have to drive too far to get to. Now, hopefully you're not going to have any problems with your sled.
No. I
know right now that if you spring check, I saw on the Skidoo website today, they're offering a 4-year warranty.
On some of their models, that's bananas. Yeah.
Maybe it's not on that XRS 900 Turbo R, but I'm sure you can get 3 years on it. So
I'll tell you what,
awesome.
Any of those sleds you get, you're going to be so happy.
If you want a little bit more, I would say if you do a bit more touring with the guys, higher mileage riding, the XRS 900 Turbo R is the one that I would pick. If you're doing more like of those, you know, not shorter bursts, you can still go and tour with a VR19R. But if you're riding with the boys, a little higher paced, you're a faster riding group, and it's like corner to corner, you know, lightweight is really important to you, then the VR19R would be the one that I would go with. But if you're maybe an older demographic and you're like, hey, I enjoy the comforts of 4-stroke, you know, I like having a heated seat, I like having all these features and whatever,
and I like all that,
and I like the 4-stroke reliability, then that would be the one that I would go with, because that 900 motor is very reliable. It's a solid build.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, you're gonna either way, you're gonna have a lot of fun. That's pretty awesome. Hey?
No way. I love to hear you guys ride right about where I ride. Yeah, we're in Minden, Haliburton. That's where we are based out of. So that's where all of our riding happens.
That's a great. MXZ Sport is a great snowmobile. Yep. We rented those. Me and my wife had a blast.
Yeah.
The only reason we didn't get them is because my wife didn't like the yellow.
Fair enough. Fair enough. They do not have options, and
no.
And that's one of those things. I mean, you know what? You can always get a wrap if you have to,
that's a
or
good
you can
point.
buy other panels because they just click on. So you can get other panels. But yeah, it is a great sled. It's a really good snowmobile. You know, it's up from a Neo. I didn't actually even do they still have the Neo this year?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
it's still there.
Yeah.
So it's a step up from the Neo size wise. And it's a really good package.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
actually like those snowmobiles.
Yeah, for sure.
Everything in life is expensive, but this sport is worth the investment.
Yeah,
Amen to that.
It is.
That's right. Easy to say, Northwoods. I think we have less than an inch of snow on the ground west of the Twin Cities.
Yeah,
Well, that's one area where you didn't get enough snow. But I'll tell you, if you come over to this side of the country, the continent, we got lots.
From what I've heard, you do have to drive a bit to get to the snow, but there is snow in Minnesota. So
yeah,
you know, it's one of those seasons. The places that get it, it's awesome, and the ones that don't, I heard Wisconsin's a little light, but you just got to go for a little drive, you know. But you know, it's worth it.
Yeah.
You know, it's worth it. See what was a riot on
Chinese
5.
snowmobiles. Oh,
here we go.
You know what? I have been offered to test a couple of them, and we're trying to arrange to get them just to see what they are, how they work. There's some folks out there who are doing some things, and so hold tight. We'll see where we get with that. This year, I don't think they imported as many as they wanted to, but next year I think we might actually have a Chinese snowmobile to test. So I don't know.
Be
I have
honest,
no idea.
I'll tell you that.
We'll tell you about it. I know Odes, CF Moto, you know, these companies are doing some pretty good things in the off-road industry. They're impressing a lot of people, and they're making a lot of people wonder. So do I think a Chinese manufacturer could make a good snowmobile? I think they could. I think that they're going to need a North American.
Oh yeah, they're definitely going to need someone over here.
R&D people who are doing it. They don't need to make it in China on dirt and say, "Oh, this is going to work great for people over in North America." That's not the way it works.
Doesn't work like that.
Dirt in China probably feels a lot like dirt in North America. Snow is totally different in the way that we use snowmobiles. I don't think they have many groomed trails in China. So
I mean, I've tested a few off-brand ATVs, and I could tell you. Yep, they some of them. There's only one or two brands that can really hold a candle to what's available in North America wide.
But they're doing it.
They're doing it. They're bringing it.
How much different is the Escape Assault with the 2-inch lug difference than the race with the 1.6 on the trail? So when you go to the narrow Assault, it's crazy tippy on the trail around the corners. That's just the reality. If you're riding, I look at it and I say, if you're 70% off trail, 30% on trail, go with the narrow front end. If you're 70% on trail, 30% off trail, go with the wide front end. Because as much as you look at it and you go, oh, it's going to be awesome off trail and it's going to side hill wicked and it's going to pow turn gnarly, for sure it will. But the first time you're ripping through the corners with your buddies and you're going, wait, these guys said that an Assault was an awesome snowmobile. This thing sucks. It's because you bought the narrow front end and it isn't built to work as good. So that's my feeling on that. Does the 10.2 come with maps on it? Yes, it does. All the new ones sold have GPS built in, and any of your old 10.2s, 10.2.5s, sorry, any of those ones, you can do the upgrade. You can go on our on this YouTube page and check it out. I did the upgrade, the install, the whole bit. It's really easy, doesn't take very long, and I think it's only like $160 American, or sorry, maybe 129 bucks American and like $169 Canadian to get the built-in maps updated and to do all the over-the-air stuff and to do the upgraded group ride and all those things. So you can upgrade your 10.25 and get it to work like the new ones.
A lot of complaining about Arctic manufacturing the 200 for doing Polaris. They don't understand the benefits to the industry to introduce youth. Exactly.
Oh yeah, who cares?
Yeah, man. Listen, you find a kid that can fit on the fit on that 200. Not the guy that's in the video. That was that guy. That teenager looked pretty disappointed when his dad opened the trailer and he saw an XCR. He's like, I want that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I want that.
I want that one.
But no, when you got a little tyke and you roll that 200 out, they do not care. They do not care what brand or who made it.
Yeah. And when you want to say a lot of complaining about Arctic manufacturing, and you're not saying that, you're saying a lot of people are.
A lot of people
I get it.
Complaining. Yeah.
When you go to the the off-road industry, like look at who manufactures all of the like sub 400cc ATVs. It's almost predominantly one manufacturer who makes a lot of those, and they rebrand it for everybody. It's just economies of scale. It makes no sense for all the other manufacturers to build a 200cc size snowmobile because they're not going to sell enough of them to make money. So
I mean,
if one of them
you guys want Cat to focus on a new skid, or do you really care? Do you want him to put all effort into designing a 200 that's, come on.
They've been doing the same thing with the Mini Z too. Like it's built by one, sold to a bunch.
Yeah, it's good for the industry. Let's just let it happen.
Oh, great question. AJ Bertels, I'm probably not saying that right. 9871. What is a feature you are looking for with future sleds? Ooh.
Wow.
Good question. That is a great question. You know what? I haven't really stopped and thought about that in any great detail when it comes to a certain specific feature. Well, you know what? Maybe I have, because my thought is I mountain bike. Luke and I mountain bike quite a bit, and I did switch over to an e-bike like 3 years ago because I only have one kneecap and I got 40% less strength in my one leg, and it's just a whole snowcross wrecked me. But my new e-bike has this really cool little motor. It's about this big around. It's tiny. It's in the bottom bracket of the bike, and it's 40 or 50 Newton meters of power. And I'm like, if they can put that in there, that will propel my 220-pound butt up hills at a great rate of speed on my big, fully suspended mountain bike, and it does all these things, and I can ride for like all day long without using the entire battery. There's got to be a way to put a small motor like that in a steering shaft and have it do power steering in a really lightweight package. So I think, if we can start to get some of these features, like Skidoo took shot, and I know that shot is a little heavier because it does have some things on the end of the ring gear and all that. There's extra stuff there. I know shot isn't just, hey, take the battery out, put this shot capacitor in, and magically you have, electric start. There's other things that went into it and other weight. But if we can start taking things that are built into snowmobiles right from the factory, making them lighter and less of a penalty, I think that that's pretty cool. They're doing it with tracks. They're cutting stuff out. They're taking material out. They're making them lighter. They're doing it with pre-studded tracks. Now you don't have to put studs in. Now this track is lighter overall. That's really good. I think lightweight is good for our industry. And if we can simplify things and also make things more compact, because some of the stuff that we have right now is pretty heavy and pretty big. So I think maybe that's where I'm looking for things to change in the future, is just to get simplified in that regard. I mean, I don't think we need more big, huge electronics. We got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be, but I don't think that's necessarily the focus. I think just make things lighter weight, more simple, not lighter weight and cheaper and breakable, because people always say that, oh, lightweight means it's going to break. No, something that's going to function properly, but that's not as much of a weight penalty. That's my thought on that. So I don't know. What's your best guess on a new chassis for Skidoo? Timeline-wise, in my mind, I just don't think it's next year. Yeah. Maybe
I don't either.
We're close to 2030. Maybe they're going to push it and do some other small upgrades, but
maybe
2029, maybe, I don't know. But I do think there is something coming, and I think Polaris will have something too.
Yeah, oh, for sure. They both have something coming in, and my feeling is all these little things that we keep talking about and nitpicking about, I think that's when we're going to see some real magic happen. Yeah. How much better are Stage 5 Elkas versus KYB Pro 40s?
So the Stage 5 Elkas, they do have them in a 36 and a 40, I believe, or 36 and maybe it's a 36 and a 46. I apologize. I was on their website recently doing all this research, but it eludes me right now. The cool thing that I like about the Elkas is you call in, you talk to somebody at the factory, they take your order down, and then they go, okay, what's your rider weight? Okay, here's my rider weight. What kind of riding do you do? Here's the kind of riding I do. Okay, how much gear do you wear? What gear do you wear? What do you put on your sled? Do you carry a gas tank? Do you carry anything else back there? Do you put a tool belt, like a Barant bag back there? How much weight's in that? Where, all of these questions that they ask. And then they go, we're going to build these shocks specifically for you. They've done testing on all these chassis. They know exactly where they need to be. And when they ship you those shocks, they are set up properly for your rider weight, your riding style, and the things that you put on your sled. Like even down to, do you have accessories on your snowmobile? What's on your snowmobile? All of those things. So to me, the KYB Pro 40s are a really good shock. They work great, but they're built, let's be honest, suspension, no matter how high-end it is on a snowmobile, is built for a price point. That's just the fact. Sure. I've talked to suspension guys in the past, and they've been like, hey, those shocks that are on that sled, they actually use some different oil, they use some different seals, they use some different whatever, because they're trying to build it to keep the snowmobile cost down. So Elka is not doing that. Elka is building those shocks to be the best quality shock that they can, and they're delivering that. So it's not fair to really compare those two, because if you went to KYB, even though I don't think you can go to, well, maybe you can go to KYB and buy something, but it's like going to Fox and saying, hey, I want a Fox Factory or I want a Fox Performance Series. You see Fox Performance Series on stuff that's sold at the store. You see Fox Factory Series on stuff that's sold right from the factory, and they look the same, but they're very different. So that's my argument there. Elka Stage 5s are an awesome shock. Today, it completely changed the way that adrenaline works.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
It's wild, and it's cool, because when you get them in, you're like, man, this thing looks like it's got half the travel it had before. But that's because Elka, they work with like accelerated technology, and the folks there do a lot of stuff, a lot of testing for them, and they know that like sag or ride-in is really important. And a lot of our factory sleds don't have a whole lot of sag or ride-in, or maybe at the dealership they get cranked up a little bit because it's like, well, you got to have that full suspension. It's got to be stiff, and it's like, you don't. You want to be able to have that suspension drop into those moguls and drop into those holes. That's very important. So that's my rant on Elka.
So hold on, we're at about 8 o'clock here, so a couple more questions, and we're going to wrap it for the evening. Did you see one that you was...
When Cat brings out their new engine, us 998 riders hope it's not a lighter weight, lower power than the current setup. I agree, yeah. It's got to equal the power from the 990. I don't disagree with you. I think it does too, and I think that's going to be the challenge, because I just don't know if there's room for a triple in that chassis. So if it's going to be a big twin with a turbo on it, I agree. I think they need to come out with, you know what, maybe it doesn't have to be, because Yamaha was always saying it's 200 horsepower, 200 plus horsepower, and that was done by another testing company, and I think it is very close to that. But maybe it doesn't have to be 200, but it's going to have to be as good as the Skidoo, and Arctic Cat doesn't usually do as good. They usually do better. So when it comes to engines and Arctic Cat, they almost always try to do better than everybody else. It's like 858. It's like, it's always just a little bit step more. So
I remember, this is a funny story. I remember being at one of their facilities when there was a leak. It wasn't in media. I don't know who did it, but it was when Skidoo released the 850, and I could see all the engineers gathered around. They're like this with their phone, and they're all watching a video, and they didn't remember that we were there. And one turns to the other, goes, we're going to have to make a 900 now. It was mint. I loved it. So that's how competitive they are. Someone asked about the Arrowhead. Have you had a chance to try the new Arrowhead 2-ply pre-studded track? I think it's awesome, and I'd love to see that Cat's offering it for 27.
Yes. I have ridden it. I think it's the best pre-studded track out there, and not by a little bit. The studs stick out way further. There's far more of them. The coolest part about it is 75% of the lugs are tilted forwards for acceleration. So, I mean, you think about it. The lugs on a track, it's a 125. So, like, those lugs, when they're straight up and down, you grab a handful of throttle and you hook up, those things are going to bend backwards under that load, for sure. Even at 125, that rubber's going to bend. So they tilt them forwards, I believe it's 15 degrees, with the studs in it. So then it kind of lines up under that torque load. Then it's got 25% of those lugs are the opposite direction. So when you grab a handful of brake, they're bending and keeping the studs from rolling over and becoming less effective. Now they're bending and going straight up, so they're more effective. Like, it's just like, hey, we've got a track, a big hunk of rubber with some studs in it. Can we do anything better? And Camso's like, yeah, we can. And this is what they came up. And I'm like, how come nobody thought about this before? It's a great idea. Like this
nobody
makes
asked.
all the sense in the world.
Right?
It's a great track, but it hooks up really well. The stud layout is really good. It's got a lot of them in it. They stick out way further. Like you look at that track and you go, whoa, those are big pre-studs. So that is the track I think to beat moving forwards. I think that's the one that you're going to see on a lot more sleds, or at least I hope you do, because it's a great sled. It was available last year, just to as an aftermarket product from Camso, but now it's available to the manufacturers, I guess, because Arctic got a hold of it too. So that's cool.
wicked.
Great track. Yeah.
How are you feeling right now?
Yeah, whatever.
Well,
I'm the kind. I can talk forever.
Once we get going.
Ask my wife. I don't shut up.
I got some scripts I got to write. So, guys, I just want to say I'm going to close this off. We've been here for an hour. I appreciate everyone tuning in and getting involved and asking questions. We love it so much. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure to like this video when it's online. You can feel free to share it anywhere you want. And when it does come up, always get involved in and ask us questions.
Yeah,
and,
please.
Yeah, and feel free to throw anything at us. We love
this.
Yeah, and all our social media platforms, and we appreciate it. Again, thank you, Skidoo, for supporting us here. And again, thank you all of you, because without you, we wouldn't be here.
Get to do this. Yeah.